It's your boy. We back. I don't really have no direction with this opening, but just know we about to get it. About to get it on and popping up in here. You know what I'm saying? So get ready for your interesting topic of the day, which I have no idea what it is just yet. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about what's been going on lately. And we're gonna add on to that, and then we're gonna do our usual studio sesh, movies and friends, and we'll just finish it strong like we always do. So, without taking any further, without taking any longer, get your snacks, get your juice, get your Uncrustables, excuse me. Yeah, Uncrustables are fire. I don't care what nobody say. I'm 28 and I'll eat them again and again and again until I can't no more. And yeah, man, let's get it popping, let's get it cracking, let's get it going. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, the host with the most, the best, better than the rest, Mac Diesel. And we're back for another episode of The Bakery. Now, I haven't recorded an episode in a minute, and it's been a while, but I'm trying to get a consistent schedule like I told y'all last time we talked. I am very busy. I'm constantly doing stuff, trying to have a social life, trying to work, trying to do streaming, trying to do YouTube, and sometimes it just becomes a lot, and I know that. But I'm here now, I'm ready now, and I'm going to do this. So we're gonna talk about some stuff, and I think it'll be a good episode. I don't know if it'll resonate with some of y'all, but this is something that, I truly been battling with since I can remember, probably since middle school or high school. But we'll talk about that in a second. So I want to say that this topic is, what should we call it? It has to do with friendships. It has to do with jealousy. It has to do with just having self-control ultimately. And it's just, like I said, it's something that I've constantly had to approach and have, quiet time about, because it's really something that I've wanted to put my hands on and strangle. I think this topic should be called Just Being Me. Now, when we talk about just being ourselves, or when I talk about just being me, everybody and anybody knows that I am just a chill, funny guy, just trying to have a good time. I'm not into doing crazy stuff. I like to go hang out. I like to go bowling, shoot hoops, whatever. Then you got the side of me that likes to go out and hang out with friends, go to a bar. I don't go to clubs anymore. Those days are over. But yeah, just being out, you know what I'm saying, dressing all nice, looking fly. And then unfortunately, I have this thing to where people, I wouldn't even say intimidated, but people just have this thing about me that they think I'm just a vindictive, intentional, like, when I say intentional, I mean very bad intentional person. And I've never been like that at all. I'm not a mean person. I don't ever try to be. I don't ever plan on it. I will say I defend myself when I need to, but I'm not gonna just have that be something about me that I do all the time. I will never be that type of person, because I treat people the way I want to be treated. Now, if you're treating me a certain way, I may retaliate depending on how serious the situation may be. But that's neither here nor there. I want to talk about people that I barely know, or that I'm not close to, or that I haven't known more than a freaking month or two, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I do have a lot of friends that are women. Reason being, I couldn't tell you. I feel like I do give off good vibes, whether you're a man or a woman. I genuinely have a good ratio of men to women friends, and all my friends are in relationships. Maybe like a couple aren't, but that's a whole another conversation of people that I'd have to figure out who is and who isn't. But majority of my friends are in relationships, and I respect those relationships. I've never wanted to come in between any of their relationships, because I love all my friends. I want them to, be successful and strive and get married, have kids. So I got some nieces and nephews. You know what I'm saying? I don't have me a woman right now, so I need as many nieces and nephews as I can so I can spoil them. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? And I know y'all watching. Y'all heard me. I got two beautiful godchildren that my two friends have. I spoil them when I can. You know what I'm saying? Their family, yeah, I try to spoil them kids. Anyways, but it's the people that I've known or that I know of that we're not close, that I don't know from the other side of a leaf. And I think it's so interesting how I get painted as a bad guy because I'm just being a friend. And honestly, this is kind of like a two-part kind of like situation. I want to talk about that whole friendship thing, and I'll start it off like this. So this is probably a year ago. Went out with some friends, we went to Hills and Dales. For those of you that are in San Antonio, you know where that is. We went to Hills and Dales, and I'm not a fan of that place. I only go when it's a special occasion and, somebody's from out of town or it's a birthday, whatever. That's the only time I really like to go out. But for this particular moment, I think a friend was in town at the time. So a friend was in town. He was like, hey, let's go to Hills and Dales. Let's go, chop it up. Let's hang out, whatever. I said, cool, I'm down for that. So we go, and first we go to Little Woodrow's, and we just kind of like pre-gamed a little bit, whatever. Mind you, I think I only had 2 beers, so I wasn't doing heavy drinking because I was driving, so I had to cut myself off. Now, we went to Little Woodrow's, we ate, we drank a little bit, then we dipped. Actually, now I remember it, I think it was around my birthday. I could be wrong. But anyways, we go to Hills and Dales, right? And we ended up seeing some people from high school. Now, these people from high school, we weren't close. I think the people that I was close to was close to them, and they all were in cahoots together. However, I wasn't. I knew of people, I was cool with them, or it was a mutual respect, and that was just it. I'm not gonna sit here and say they're bad people. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody's bad. I think you're only bad if you have bad intentions. But I don't think anybody's bad until proven you have bad intentions, and until proven guilty. Moving on, we all met up, and we were just talking, we were hanging out, we were laughing, joking, whatever. So in the distance, I see a young lady that I knew, that I went to high school and middle school with, that we were close. And one of our favorite jokes was from Kevin Hart's stand-up, where he was talking back to the teacher. And every time we saw each other, we was always making that same joke. And it was just so funny. So I ended up seeing her, and I went to go speak. And she also had a friend. Me being who I am, I introduced myself and said, hey, I'm Anthony, whatever. Nice to meet you, blah, 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 blah. Sat there for a couple minutes. We chopped it up. Everything was cool. And I went back to the fellas. So I go back to the fellas. And for whatever reason, I didn't think anything of it. I just kind of went back over there not expecting anything to go down. I'm going back, dancing on the way back. And I was telling the fellas, I was like, yo, like I just saw such and such. She was with her friend, blah, 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 blah. So one of the people that was there, that was a mutual of my friend, just randomly out of nowhere, it's like, hey, that's an ex of mine. I'm sitting there thinking to myself like, okay. I was like, what does that have to do with me? I mean, I wasn't even trying to talk to her. I was just being polite. He was like, yeah, no, it's my ex, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you got going on. They ain't got nothing to do with me. So I kind of want to fast forward through this, but basically I went back to the bar to get somebody a drink, and I ended up seeing this person. Well, this person comes up to me. She's like, "Oh, hey, like, remember me from earlier?" Da 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 da. I said, "Oh, yeah. You're such and such friend, whatever." She's like, "Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask if you wanted like a drink or something." I said, "Okay, sure." So, I'm sorry, it wasn't a drink, it was a shot. So she buys me a shot, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks. Like, I truly appreciate it. Like, you didn't have to do that. That was very nice of you." And we sat there, we chopped it up for a little bit, and then I went back. So me and my group of friends were talking. We're all talking, we're chit-chatting, whatever. And I'm running low on a drink. So I was like, okay. I was like, yo, I'm gonna go get another beer. So they're like, oh, okay, back. Go back over there. No, I'm sorry. I was going to get a beer. I had took a shot the first time. I went to go get a beer. So I go back to go get a beer. See this person again. She approaches me. She's like, oh, she was like, you want to get another shot? Or, oh, maybe we can get a drink. I said, a drink will be cool. I said, we can get a drink. Because I was like, if I take any more shots, it's going to continue. And I don't want it to continue. I want to get home. So she was like, yeah, I'll get you a beer. She purchases the beer, and then she gets one for herself. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, yeah, no, I appreciate you. Like, you're super sweet. Like, you didn't have to do that. Again, me being polite, I'm just being nice. I'm not flirting with this girl. I'm being cool. I go back to the group. I'm chilling, talking to my friends, and then next thing I know, I'm getting approached. It was so crazy because I didn't know this was gonna happen. And before I say what happened, I just want everybody to know I do not move with bad intentions. I do not move with ill will. I'm just out here living my life. I'm just being Mac Diesel, as everybody knows me as. So I'm like sitting there chopping it up, whatever. I turn around, I'm getting approached by the mutual. Mutual approaches me. He's like, yo, I told you that was my ex. Why you talking to her? And I had to take a second. I was like, you talking to me? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, I told you that was my ex. You over there talking to her, blah, 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 blah. I said, first of all, whatever y'all got going on ain't got nothing to do with me. She bought me a drink, and I left it at that. I didn't ask for her number. I didn't ask for anything. I said, so I don't know why you're getting upset. He was like, nah, like, you really playing with my emotions. I said, who's playing with your emotions? I said, I don't play games. I said, so if you got a problem, we can deal with it. I said, so what's up? So then it started getting a little tense, and we had to be separated. Once I feel threatened, I don't react, but I start getting going, and my skin get hot, and I get a little angry. And I don't like that. I don't like that part of me. That I like to keep that person locked up, suffocated in a box at the bottom of my stomach as it is. But sometimes that person tends to come out, I guess. We eventually get separated, and my people who know me know that I know how to flip the switch real quick. And they try to keep me safe. They try to keep me out of trouble. I don't get in trouble at all, but like, you know, they would hate to see me go through something like that, where I get kicked out of a club or something like that. But they know me. I can level with them and, you know, just calm down if I need to. And then at that point, it just got weird. That other girl approached me, and she's like, hey, like, are you okay? Like, what happened? Blah, 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 blah. She starts apologizing, and I'm like, you don't have to apologize. I was like, you weren't there, and it's not like you did anything bad. You just bought me a drink. That's just what it was. Obviously, I'm sure she had some ill intent behind it. But again, that's not my place nor my space to speak on what she was trying to do. I just wanted something to drink. I needed to wet my whistle. That's all. So, yeah. It's just crazy how somebody thought I was trying to do something and I wasn't trying to do it. That's the whole point of that story. And then it kind of ties into this next story. So, this was actually recent and it was crazy. My best friend, love that girl to death. She is the mother of my godchildren. Love my best friend to death. She is very protective of me, very protective of my heart, because she knows what I've been through and she does not like anybody to play with me. That's why she's like my road dog. I let her off the leash. She gonna attack. She gonna attack with words, not physically, but with words. She gonna let you know what's up. Anywho, that's besides the point. Sorry, bestie. You know I don't mean to expose you like that. Anywho, she wanted to hook me up with one of her coworkers. I said, okay, cool, yeah, I'm down, whatever. apparently there's some lore behind it that she showed her coworker who I was, what I looked like, and she was like, "Yeah, I think y'all would be good together." This, that, and the third. I said, "Okay, cool, no problem." I said, "If you want to give her my number, that's cool." Gives her my number. I heard from her that evening that we talked, and I think pretty much off rip, we kind of connected on a certain type of level. And so once we started communicating, you know, everything was fine. We thought we were pretty much on the same wavelength. At least I thought we were. You know, she seemed like she was a nice girl. Seemed like she had her head right on her shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, really. Yeah, I just thought she was cool. So as the week progresses, Monday, chop it up. We end up playing Fortnite fun with her. I was having a good time. We're killing people, trying to win games, whatever. And Tuesday comes along, we play again. Then Wednesday comes along, keep playing. Thursday, keep playing. Friday, it was on my day off, and we had talked about her job, and she was saying that, "Oh, we're gonna get these sandwiches from such and such place, but they're dry and I don't want it," and da 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 da. So I figured this would be a great opportunity, since my best friend and a potential whatever I was thinking she was gonna be work together, maybe I go visit them. So I go visit them. They wanted energy drinks, of course, and one wanted peanut butter M&Ms, the other one I got a protein cookie, so on and so forth, whatever. So as I'm sitting there, obviously best friend is trying to sell me a car. I already got a car. I can't really do that right now. I'm not in a position to. She knows that, but she was just trying to, you know, give me her spiel and things like that. So I was like, "Oh yeah, nah, I can't." And then the potential date would come down, and you know, I introduced myself to her. We talked a little bit, and then that was it. And then after that, it was kind of like, you know, it was weird. It was just like, I don't know. It was just three people coexisting. But me and my bestie are more connected than me and this person. I've only known this person a couple days. Even though the connection is cool, I'm a shy person. I don't know you. I'm not gonna be off rip like, "Oh yeah, hey, give me a hug. Let me hug you. Oh, let me hold you." No, bro, I can't. That's weird. And you're at work. That's not the place for that. I'm not gonna be able to just fall for you in 20 minutes. I don't operate like that. I need to know you. We need to hang out on the side, kicking it, whatever. But I'm not gonna be on no weirdo crap and try to like just be weird about it. As the day goes on, we don't see her for the rest of the time that I'm there. Obviously, I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I didn't ask questions. I didn't care. So later down the road, I find out. Let me not say that. I had an intuition that something was off, and I just could not put my foot on it. And you know, when things are in the dark, they come to the light. And you also notice people's behavior. So I noticed the behavior. I seen the shift, and I was fully aware that this girl was not feeling me anymore. For what reasons? Those will not be disclosed, because that's my information to withhold. But you know what I'm saying? I found out the reasons, and I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm not going to try to be something that I'm not. I don't ever plan on being something that I'm not. All I know how to do is just be me, and I will forever be me. I don't care if somebody doesn't like the fact that I'm nice, or doesn't like the fact that I'm not confrontational, or doesn't like the fact that X, Y, and Z. I don't care. I know how to be me. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm good at. That's what I'm best at. So there's no questioning behind it. You're not gonna question me about it. You either figure it out or you just do your own thing. I don't care. So yeah, I just kind of figured things out for myself, and I just caught on so quick. And I think ultimately it was just sad, because when you don't know a person, you can't judge them. You can't make an assumption off of a 20-minute meeting, or playing a game with a person, or even talking over the phone. You can't just go off of that judgment unless they're strictly showing you who they are. Then yeah, maybe you might feel uncomfortable. But with me, there's no reason why anybody should feel like they can't deal with somebody who's nice. Obviously, your past is a little messed up and you're used to being dogged on. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be respectful. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be me, because that's what I was raised to do. I'm not gonna change just because you want something in your life. You want something in your life, go find it elsewhere. You're not gonna find it over here in the Mac Diesel residence. the Mac Diesel domain don't do that. We kings over here. So if I'm a king, I'm gonna treat you like you need to be treated. I'm not out here trying to be no buster, trying to live off you and call you out of your name and treat you any kind of way, because that's what a lot of people do. That's what a lot of men do. And I'm not talking about everybody. I know there's some other people that are like me too. I don't know them, but I know me, and that's who I need to know for however I'm on this earth. I'm going to continue to know that person, and I'm going to continue to be that person that I want to be. So just to kind of tie this all together, and this may be a long ending to this segment, but I have been convicted with the Holy Spirit, and the last couple of days is this past week, I've gotten the same message 3 different times, and it's about the fruits of the Spirit. And I have been working on self-control, patience, and grace. I believe that was the third one, but more so self-control. And I have learned that I have to control, and I can only control me. I can't control other people's actions. I can't just go based off of raw emotions, because raw emotions tends to get people in trouble. I am a victim of it. I have caused a couple of people to cry, and I'm not happy about that. I had never felt good about it. But when I really sit and think about it, I know I was wrong, and I know that I needed to apologize. And so when those things have happened, I've apologized, and I've fixed my behavior for the better of me, not only for me, but to allow that person to understand, like, I'm a human being. I'm going to make mistakes. And that's ultimately where I'm at right now. I'm just trying to have self-control, be graceful, and just be obedient when it comes to hearing God's voice in any circumstance. Me and him talk daily. So when people see me and see I am a certain way, they're like I got told the other day, you're more mature than your actual age. And I'm like, that's just me being me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like I need to react to people no more, because it's like me reacting, it's just going to cause friction, and everybody's going to feel a certain type of way. And if I'm arguing with somebody, they may feel a certain type of way off of what I'm saying, and I don't intend for that. That's not what my intentions are. But best believe I'm going to always be who I am and be the best human I can be for not only myself, but people around me, people that know me, people that, come across me or have heard about me, or even watching my podcast. Like, people see my podcast and then they see me in person, and I want them to know I'm that same person. This is not a facade that I'm putting on YouTube. Like, this is me, who I am. So, yeah, man. The first part of that was just acknowledging self-control. And I want to iterate this, and I want to say this. I need people to understand. I need people that I don't know to understand. I'm not here to take your woman. I don't want your woman. She's obviously with you for a reason, and you're feeling insecure about it. Not that she's with you for a reason, but you're feeling insecure because she knows me. I can't help that. Again, I'm not here to steal your girl. I don't want your girl. So if you're feeling some type of way, or you're mad because I'm a nice person and I treat people with respect, and if that just so happens to be your girlfriend or your boyfriend, okay, whatever. But I need all the fellas to understand, I'm not out here to steal anybody's woman. I'm not a homewrecker. I'm not a person who likes to be sneaky and do all this other stuff that people see on social media and da-da-da-da. And that's what's wrong with our culture today, is that we just think, or not we, but a lot of people think it's okay to be slick and do those things behind other people's backs. And it's not, and never will be. So again, let me reiterate. I am not here to steal anybody's girl. I don't want anybody's girl. I don't plan on trying to talk to anybody's girl. I'm just here to live my life and have a good time. So let that be known. Leave me the hell alone. Please. Again, I have no intention on doing anything to anybody's woman. I'm doing me. I'm chilling. So y'all got it. Please. Good Lord. So yeah, that's all I want to say about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I had to get that off my chest so people can understand, apparently, because people don't understand. But now that we got all that mushy stuff out of the way, let's get into a little bit of A Studio Says. So, last time we talked about the Chris Brown concert, right? Now, I'm not going to implement no videos because I sound horrible. I couldn't help myself. I was having a good time. And the songs he performed, I loved. Now, I will say he didn't perform Fine China, which was the one I was really looking forward to. But that's okay. I had a good time nonetheless. I thought it was a fantastic show. The man's set list was fire. And I'm pretty sure he's done all the same songs everywhere else. I mean, minus a few. But nonetheless, 100%, 10 out of 10 show. Maybe it was just San Antonio. I don't know. But when they did the pre-show before Bryson and Jhené Aiko came out, it was some things that shouldn't have been done. And I ain't gonna spoil it for nobody who's watching across wherever they're from. But Lord have mercy, that was a hot mess. And I couldn't believe my eyes. I was just in shock. I was in total shock. I said, wow, San Antonio, this is what we doing? Y'all embarrassing me? Really? That's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about a good time. Ladies, have a good time. Embrace the air, if you will. I don't know. That was not good. I don't know why I said that. But the concert was 10 out of 10. I would definitely go again. It sparked an idea of me going to more concerts. Not only did I go by myself, but just in general, just going to concerts. I think if there's an artist that you like and there's somebody that's, you know, just somebody that sparks your interest more than other artists, you should definitely do it. And also, when it comes to doing things on your own, I would say don't be afraid. That was my first time doing something by myself, and as awkward as it was because I was by myself, I ended up meeting people around me and we all had a good time. So nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? It was worth it. It was so worth it. And I'm trying to think of, I don't think I have anything else as far as studio session. I think everything I said pretty much covered what I was going to say. That concert was just 10 out of 10, man. All the haters, I don't care. Y'all can be mad, block me, whatever. Concert was great. So yeah, definitely 10 out of 10. Recommend. If you out in these other towns that he's going to, just go, because it's a once in a lifetime experience, and you're not gonna want to miss it. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Finally, we come to our last topic, last little section: movies and friends. Now, I have been a Marvel fan for many, many, many years, and I want to talk about these two shows that they just recently dropped on Disney Plus. Not recently, but recently. I think one's older than the other. First, I want to talk about Marvel Zombies. I really liked the way that they did everything as far as like who was the main villain, who was this, who was that. And I'm not going to expose it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just the characters that I thought I was going to see, I saw them in a different light. We'll say that. And the way they kind of tied it together and made it make sense, like you would have thought it was an actual Marvel movie. And I think that was the coolest part, because a lot of the Marvel movies, you know what I'm saying, everybody plays themselves. Everybody plays their character. Everybody plays whoever, blah, blah, whatever. But because of the whole Gauntlet and Thanos and this and that, like, I think that's what makes it so much more creative and better, that it made it enjoyable to watch, and it wasn't boring. It didn't have me just like, you know, uninterested for a whole like I think how long was it? 40 minutes to an hour. I don't remember how long the episodes are, but they were long enough to where my interest was piqued and attached as much as possible. So I think the way they handled it was really, really good, and it was almost kind of like the what if stories, except I think everybody still played their same role. It was just a different type of thing because it was zombies. So whoever was a zombie for whatever reason, and then that's it. So yeah, definitely something people should watch. Definitely something I would recommend. And then next, I want to talk about. I think it was called The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the cartoon. Everything about that show was outstanding. Um, it took me about a week to watch it, which is crazy because that's quick. I mean, not really. I mean, most people do it in 2 days. I don't have that type of time, but I think it is. I think that show is good because it kind of reminds me of the comic book version of Spider-Man, and when he's coming about and coming into his self. And obviously they took the comic book and transitioned it into those movies. But the cool thing about this Spider-Man is, for one, Harry Osborn and Norman Osborn are black, which is cool. Spider-Man, his character, he's in high school, he's nerdy, whatever. His best friend is this girl that he met by saving her life, and then Dr. Octavius, Tombstone, Scorpion, who else? Doctor Strange. All of those characters look like the comic book version, and I think that's the coolest part. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know it all. I didn't read the comics growing up because I just didn't have them, and I wasn't truly attached to it like I wanted it to be until I was probably maybe in high school. I was a big fan of Spider-Man, but like as far as like comics and stuff like that, I never read them, and my attention span was just not. I couldn't stick to it because, for one, all of the comic books have hella boxes, and you gotta read here, then you gotta go here, and it's just like it's too much back and forth. I don't want to go back and forth. I don't. But me being older now, I can appreciate, a comic for what it is. And I hope to one day kind of collect them as, I go through life and, just have a collection of that kind of stuff. Because I know I already know Disney and Marvel and all of them, they're going to come together and start making the comics come to life in every single, story of whoever. It could be Venom, it could be Captain America, Wolverine, you know what I'm saying? They've done it in the movies already, so I think now it's about to be like, okay, let's bring the comics to life in this section, and it's all multiverse. Like, they all have different lives because there's so many different comic books. I don't know how many comic books there are, but there's so many. So I appreciate what Marvel is doing and how they're putting together the Spider-Man story, because again, I truly love Spider-Man. That's one of my favorite characters and will forever be my favorite character. So kudos to them, and I hope they come with it season 2, because I'm absolutely ready and I'm absolutely excited. So yeah. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all coming through. I believe this is episode 39, I think. I don't remember. But yeah, man, super happy to be doing this. And as always, and y'all know me, I appreciate y'all coming to support me, even if it's not a lot of people, even if it's just 2 people. I'm just happy to be doing it because I want to do it and I enjoy it for what it is. So I'm always grateful. I'm always thankful to God for allowing me the opportunity to continue to wake up every morning and be myself and continue to love what I do for the love of the game. And I don't plan on stopping. I may be getting older, but the talent will keep squeeze coming out of me, and I'm gonna continue to push, and I'm gonna continue to put this stuff out as much as I can, as consistent as I can, no matter how tired I am, because I really did not want to record this right now, but I was like, I gotta do it. I know where I'm trying to reach, so let's continue to strive for that goal, and let's continue to get there, no matter how long it takes, no matter how much editing I have to do. This is what has to be done. So I'm forever grateful, and I'm just proud that I'm continuing to do this. But with that being said, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all coming through. Don't forget to like, subscribe, repost, retweet, all that good stuff. And I will see y'all in the next episode. Peace.